Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with this nerd.
I'm Ted.
And today we have a viewer suggestion over on the forum from Coleman. It's under the GM91 section, but this is more of a viewer suggestion. And the long story short is he wants to know how to reward players for role playing and having role RP focused characters as opposed to combat focused characters.
If you have a viewer suggestion or a GM911, you can send it over to nerdarchy@gmail.com. Yeah, nerdarchy@gmail.com. You can put GM911 right in the subject, or as Coleman did, you can put it over on our forums.
So the issue is here. He uses a good example of a character who's a wizard who has a personal quest looking for Mordenkainen because they want to learn a spell. They take more utility spells than combat spells. They're knowledge based. They do a lot of investigating and searching for facts and things of that nature. And to that, I would say, uncovering those mysteries and using the investigation part, especially if you're role playing through this stuff and not just dropping a die roll, which it sounds like they're doing right. The role playing for. That is, isn't it that a reward in itself? Like when you find the clues or figure out the problem, didn't you in essence beat it?
Right.
Sure, you didn't roll a bunch of dice to do it, and no swords were used and no monsters were harmed in making of this of the solution. But
there's going to be a challenge factor. There's going to be something that you could, if you're playing a style of game where XP is awarded for doing things, and each character is earning things separately, then by all means those things can have a challenge rating to it and thus an XP value. And for each person's involvement in that solution, go ahead and give them that XP.
Like in previous editions, NPCs had CRs, and they still do have a challenge rating or a challenge number. So you feel free to use that challenge number, and if they get the information that they were supposed to, or they're able to bypass the NPC, give the XP for it and divide it up amongst the party however you normally do. Right. If you have a weighted system for so and so did X, so they get more, well then this person will probably be stepping up and getting the more.
Right. The other thing you can do and it's something that some DMs just do automatically. If you have a character that interacts with an NPC on a regular basis, well, that NPC is going to have access to his own personal power and is able to, do things or, give out gifts and be a friend and do all the things that a friend would do to that player.
The NPCs become a commodity, and if you have characters that are more vested in role playing, they're going to have more of this commodity than the other players. Like, sure, if everyone kind of goes to the wizard's tower, but it's only the one person that really engages and interacts with them, like the wizard might be like, well, that's just my friend and his annoying friends.
Right.
Where where he might not do anything for the other people if they showed up without this person. Be like, where's so and so? This is weird.
None of you are wizards. Why are you talking to me?
Yes.
Case in point. Dave's character in my game, Uthengar, he has been interacting with Analasalar, the elven wizard, since the first couple of sessions. And Analasalar was very much the elven wizard stereotype. And he was standoffish and downright insulting to the dwarven mage over here from the beginning. And as time went on, as the campaign stretched out, they became friends. They actually went on a quest together as part of a backstory or in between sessions type of a situation. And there's now a bond there that it's like, oh, Uthengar needs something, and Alasalar's sure, no problem. How do I help? It's not you must pay my 500 gold pieces for my time and yada 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 stuff.
Yeah, and to a lesser degree, with that character, I've been collecting NPCs like that and making these little friendships along the way. In different towns and cities we go to. I usually find someone to befriend there. and try and impact that person, not that character, but the person's life in the game. And so when Uthgar leaves that place, like, he'll be remembered, and he can go back there, and like there's a comrade, there's a friend, and that, like, that's its own reward. Like, so you're gonna get these social benefits from being that type of character, and helping people with their problems, or just being, you know, an ear to listen to, or a good friend, or whatever. In addition to, again, I still think being the person to find the information that leads, you know, the rest of the party to the front door of the bad guy so they can kick him in the face.
It's gonna be memorable. It's gonna be something that, you know, when you are role playing, when you're not just rolling dice and seeing what the outcome says. That's the core of this game. It's a part that I've moved away from the mechanical side of it, and I enjoy that aspect so much more. And getting those things, getting to be the one to solve those puzzles, getting to be the one that's involved in that, it's awesome. It's like, all right, we wouldn't have done it with it, or we would not have been successful if it weren't for, you know, Joe's character over there. All right. You know,
yeah,
Joe was awesome
and you know, take a moment to highlight those spots, those moments if you need to, if you feel like, you know, that it's not being recognized or enough, or, you know, and even better, have it done in game through
another NPC,
through the NPCs. You know, like, you know, maybe the mayor or the duke or the lord is like, oh, this is so great that you were able to stop this evil, and thanks to the hard work of so and so, we would have never even uncovered their hideout.
If it weren't for you kids, no.
Yeah, essentially. So essentially what we're saying is there is different rewards to different ways to reward your players. Like, I've actually, in my game, you know, bestowed a second background on people, not the full background, just the feature and the title when I had a character knighted in my game. Like, that's another thing you could do. Like, you know, maybe that character starts accumulating certain background features as rewards because of things they've did. Like, for instance, like, if you look at the criminal feature, really it's just you have a contact that's a criminal. You know, so there's different ways that you could finagle that kind of mechanic.
So that's a good point. Look at the laundry list of background features, and when a role playing situation comes up, if that fits the friendship benefit of talking to NPCs, yeah, I think that's
the noble's another example as well. Like, if your character, like, maybe this character isn't a noble, but they've gotten so much renown amongst the nobles that once they hear who's calling, they stop what they're doing and make time for that person, because they've proved invaluable to the aristocracy, or however you say
aristocracy.
That too, and the nobility of that particular region. So these are ways that I would look to reward them. You know, maybe not so. Maybe it isn't in gold and magic items, but in prestige, esteem, and friendships in the game.
Yeah, and I think especially amongst the early levels, those things are going to be, you know, really useful. And I think as you gain the levels, they're not as big, but I think early game, those things could be some
well, even
awesome.
Later game, like, you're going to a brand new kingdom and you don't know anybody, but because you had this awesome character that does all this role playing and has all these friends,
nobles talk to nobles, yeah.
you show up with like 5 letters of recommendation from different nobles and the duke, you know. So you get to go in there and basically, you know, you get pampered, you get treated like royalty.
Let me put my feet up.
You know, and this person shows up with the party, and like they hand over these notes, and then like the duke of this land is like, well, you know, we have a great suite for you here, and will your retainers be staying here with you at the castle, or are they going to stay at the local tavern? We can refer some good ones. How do you want to handle it?
I just see you totally nah, they're not with me.
Don't even know who these guys are. I thought they were free with you. Yeah. So in the comments below, how do you guys handle this in your game? Do you have those like characters that are super ineffective in combat or aren't that worried about it and focus on other areas of the game, but they're still useful in those areas? How do you reward them? What's going on in your game? Let us know in the comments below while you're like, share, and subscribe.
You can tweet at us at Nerdarchy.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.